Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 200 something or other of At Odds with the Unbreakable Spirit.
And the executioner, Daniel Travas.
Yeah, I am Matthew Smith, aka the Unbreakable Spirit. We are finally getting to do an episode where we don't have to use video. Technically, we didn't have to last week, but then you wouldn't have seen the tier list.
Yes.
So, we have three topics for you today because it is professional wrestling. Thankfully, we're not doing it every week of this month. But, so let's tell you the topics for today.
Topic number one.
Is WWE going to be in trouble when we can no longer see John Cena? And
Number two.
number two, who we think in WWE's developmental NXT is ready to be on Raw or SmackDown.
Number three.
John Cena is a Grand Slam champion, but before we can talk about that, we gotta know, is WWE gonna be in trouble without him? Personally, I think no, actually. They've built up enough stars since Cena that are big stars like Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, LA Knight, Jey Uso to an extent that we
Well,
don't
I,
need to
I wouldn't
I don't
even
think we
consider
need to worry.
the only person, honestly, because my problem is WWE only has like two main eventers, like you mentioned, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes.
Well, there's also people, well, okay, admittedly these guys out with an injury, but there's also like Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens.
I mean, yeah, sure, WWE has some main eventers, but it's just yeah, sure, you got the Codys, you got your Codys, you got your Romans, you got but you don't really have you have your Gunther, but you don't really have any young up and coming stars in the main event scene. Has anyone else ever noticed that?
Really? You really think that?
Yes. Has anyone? I mean, like,
The Mad
the
Dog, Matt
only the
Breaker,
only
come on,
young
man.
main eventer they got is Braun Breaker and maybe Logan Paul. That's about it.
Unfortunately, you're right about Logan. Like, don't get me wrong, Logan's a phenomenal wrestler, but he is not a good person.
But I mean,
And I will
my
say
whole
there are some other guys who should or eventually will be in the main event scene that are not currently.
like who?
Dominic Mysterio.
Has anyone considered maybe that's the entire reason they put the mega championship on him as a little test run?
Yeah, like give him a test run with a world title. That is definitely a good point. But also, we're talking about the wrong mystery here. John Cena. You can't see him.
I
And
mean,
like, honestly, this goes back to a topic from a few weeks ago. If they were to hypothetically put put over a young up and coming talent to dethrone John Cena at in Washington, if they want to propose someone with heel heat, give it to Braun Breaker. Like people are thinking Dominic Mysterio. Dominic already has enough heel heat. So much heel heat that he is being cheered instead of booed.
I mean,
Okay,
that's
he's
a
still being booed, but it's like he likes being booed.
but like also my big problem with the WWE these days is well, yes, you have all these main eventers. It's just you don't really have any I mean, yeah, you got these a bunch of main event guys, but you don't really have any what I'm looking for. Whoever's okay, no, this is what I meant to say. Whoever's the one to retire John Cena, whoever wins this My Time Is Now tournament, you have to push that person to the moon.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta be able to push whoever wins this tournament, whether it be for the Intercontinental title or not be for the Intercontinental title. Whoever wins the My Time Is Now tournament needs to get a push.
Yes. Even
And
if they
also,
don't win the last time is now tournament, they should still get a push.
my question is like, okay, if I'm the wrestler that retires John Cena, are you really gonna keep that guy a babyface? Like, if it's a babyface that does it, are they gonna stay
The
a
bigger
baby?
question is, if you're the guy that retired John Cena, are you gonna stay in catering?
I mean,
Like, no, this is we are talking about you dethroning a 17-time world champion, multi-time United States champion, multi-time tag team champion, and one-time Intercontinental champion, a multi-time WrestleMania main eventer. And you expect me to believe that they're not gonna push that guy to the moon? And let's face it, probably a more accurate statement would be push him to Pluto.
right. Because let's be real, WWE. Whoever, hey, look, is WWE in trouble is because, hey, once Cody Rhodes' contract runs out, you don't really have, hey, yeah, sure, Cody Rhodes is your current big top baby face, but you don't really have any backups.
Yeah, and let's face it, Roman's current character doesn't work as a baby face. Like, you can acknowledge the tribal chief all you want, but the tribal chief, in my opinion, and it may be a hot take, it does not work as a baby face.
Hot take, I agree.
All right, the timer went off. I forgot the audio on my iPad was all the way down. Final thoughts, is WWE in trouble? If they play their cards right and build up some more stars. No, currently, potentially.
Yeah. My final thoughts is if Dewey, whoever wins this My Time Is Now tournament, whether it be to crown a new Intercontinental Champion or whoever retires John Cena, needs to get, like you said, pushed to Pluto.
Yeah. I know it's not a planet, but that's the point. Heck, I'd even go as far to say whoever, even if they lose to John Cena in his final match, they need to be pushed out of the Milky Way.
Yeah.
And speaking of future stars, we'll be right back with topic number 2.
Hello, everybody, and we are back with topic number two, wrestlers in NXT that are ready for the main roster. This is going to be a
Where
short
does
list.
the list for this begin?
Obafemi,
Trick Williams,
All Ego Ethan Page,
the young OG Javon Evans.
Ricky Saints.
Hmm.
That's all I can think of.
Yeah, that is part of the problem, admittedly. Kalani Jordan, I guess. She's the current women's champion and the inaugural NXT Women's North American champion.
Yeah, true. Whoever, but also, like, look, I'm going to take Obafemi, for example, is whoever, like, that guy, Obafemi. You got to push. Like, some of these guys are just like you don't even need to put them in like the mid card title scene. Some of these guys you could just throw them in the main roster, throw them in the deep end.
Yeah. Why aren't there people and why isn't the My Times Now tournament happening on also shows for NXT? I know there are NXT stars in the tournament, but they're competing like they're already on the main roster.
True. I mean, like, because like Ethan Page, what is the guy doing? What is Ethan Page even doing down there? He's yeah, sure. He's a
Being the
mixed tag.
NXT North American champion and one half of the AAA mixed champions.
Yeah. Other than that, it's like the guy's like, because hell, everybody thought he was gonna be a part of Seth Rollins' faction.
And like still could become a part of the vision, it's just not Seth's faction anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like, heck, you want a heel. I just want to say this: Vision needs a top. The Vision needs a heel to lead that group.
I agree.
It depends on that guy. But anyway, it's just like all those talents we mentioned. They don't need to go in the. You don't need to put them in the mid card title scene. A lot of those talents we mentioned are just main event scenes, or you could put them back and forth.
Yeah, because keep in mind, Ethan Page, I'm pretty sure, is a former NXT champion.
Yes.
Majority of the people we mentioned are former NXT World Champions. The only one that I'm pretty sure has not held it is Javon Evans.
Yeah, Javon Evans hasn't held any title.
But he's just that good that he's ready for the main roster. And statistically speaking, many of the NXT clubs that have not held a title in NXT have been more successful than the ones that have.
Fair point. That is a fair point.
That's why I always say that's why when I say like the NXT championship curse, a majority of the NXT champions, aside from like Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Big E,
And
have had terrible careers on the main roster.
and also Drew McIntyre. He's a former NXT
And
champion.
yeah, and Drew McIntyre to a certain extent.
Yeah, but you're right. Most people that, and it's a weird curse because some people you think, yeah, this person's gonna be ready for the main event scene, but then you do absolutely nothing with them when they get to go or SmackDown.
And get released because of lack of improvement. It's like, you haven't allowed me to even showcase if I've improved or not.
I mean, like, hey, Bo Dallas is on. Bo Dallas is doing really well, and he only because he got Uncle Howdy.
Yeah, but before he was Uncle Howdy, not so much.
Yeah,
The
that's true.
only thing of note I remember Bo Dallas doing on the main roster prior to Uncle Howdy was winning the Raw Tag Team titles alongside Curtis Axel.
Leave.
That is not the sound I meant for it to be. There we go. All right, final thoughts. So we mentioned some people that we think are ready, but no WWE, they're gonna screw it up somehow.
My final thoughts is whoever those talents we have mentioned are either ready for either the main event scene on the main roster, or they're the kind of talent where you could flop them between mid card and main eventer.
Yep, and for that, we'll be right back with the third and final topic. And we are back with the third and final topic. John Cena has held technically every singles title in the history of WWE.
Yeah, and now
He
John.
has achieved Grand Slam champion. Who would have thought that going into his 5 year of wrestling, he would have only been a triple crown?
Yeah, because here's a fact. Up till this past Monday, this is an actual fact. John Cena, for his entire career, has never, up to that point, has never, not even challenged for the Intercontinental title, not even on a house show.
Yeah, to be fair, Dominic did need to get kicked down a peg or five.
But like, okay, like Dominic, this needs to be talked about. People are saying, "Oh, Dominic got buried." I'm like, no, he was in the ring with Triple H and John Cena. That's not a burial. I think that's the opposite, honestly.
Yeah, in fact, I've seen some reactions to John winning the title on YouTube, and some people thought that Cena wasn't gonna go full Super Cena mode and roll through, pick Dom up for an attitude adjustment. He needs to one in real life, and then one, two, three.
I mean, I personally thought that the Dom John Cena match, I thought would have been the main event.
But no, it kicked off the show.
It was like, what the? It was like, what?
I didn't even realize originally that it was for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone expected them to pull the trigger on a John Cena Intercontinental Championship reign. But they are, and that's the crazy part.
And the crazy part is, I have heard reports that John Cena will wrestle next week
In the Garden,
in the Garden.
you know he's gonna do an Intercontinental title open challenge. He did it with the US. Why would he not do it with the Intercontinental?
I mean, hey, it's his final Raw appearance ever. Of course, he's gonna defend the Intercontinental title.
I just hope it's not a 1 week reign. If anything, I would have him lose it on the 29th Survivor Series.
Big okay, because here's the thing, and I need to say this on this podcast. WWE hasn't told us at all, in fact, what is John Cena doing in Survivor Series?
I assume since it's his final Survivor Series, he's either gonna be in War Games or he's gonna defend the Intercontinental title.
One of those two.
Yeah. And if he is in War Games, WWE has a great opportunity to make the last time is now tournament also an intercontinental number one contenders tournament.
That is true. For me, look, there's only one person, I'm gonna say this. Like a lot of people are assuming Gunther's gonna win the Intercontinental, to win this tournament. I personally think it's gonna be Sheamus.
Sheamus?
Sheamus.
Yeah.
Mostly because Sheamus
I'm
has
gonna
come
have to
really
send this to
close.
Riverside afterward.
Has come really, really, really close to win.
Yeah, I have. For those who are wondering what I meant, I've gotten in touch with Riverside support for a video call. All audio's being cut out,
Yeah,
and I will send evidence to them after this. It's gonna be a
yeah.
long night for me.
Anyway, what's your
30
thought about
seconds left.
John Cena being Intercontinental Champion in a Grand Slam?
It's great. Like for every title he what the heck is oh, that's my alarm to do meds. Sorry about that, folks. That was not the timer, but I think it's great. For every title his weight class allowed him thank you for interrupting me, timer. Every title that his weight class allowed him to compete for, he has now held. Unlike the cruiserweight because Cena is like what, 250 or something?
Yeah,
Cruiserweight limit is 205.
my honest thought is I'm glad John Cena I'm glad that that hey, this man has literally, other than the developmental titles in NXT, he's held every title on the main roster.
Yeah, and
Well deserved.
honestly, NXT didn't exist when John Cena started out, but he has held the titles in OVW.
Yes. But it's well deserved.
My
No
final
complaining
thoughts
from me.
are the next time we're probably gonna talk about Cena is after his farewell match, but I'm glad that WWE finally gave him the recognition he deserves and made him a Grand Slam champion. And they're
Agreed.
selling merch about it now, apparently. So you might want to buy that if you're a super John Cena fan. And at least gonna buy either the hat or the t-shirt.
Yep.
We'll be back next week with pop culture. Auf Wiedersehen.